Hey everyone, it's Chris from Sweet Maple Ridge. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about 5 maple tools that we just couldn't live without. So stick around and we'll go over each one of them.
Join us.
Sweet Maple Ridge Farms. Come on down, everybody. Go!
First tool that we want to show you is the line viper. Now we bought this. This is the first season we've used it, and we used it all season long, and it's been amazing. It's a little pricey. I think we paid $140 from it. We bought it through Smoky Lake Maple. And we highly recommend just using them. They have great shipping, reasonable shipping, fast time frames, and all that. So we really recommend using them. But what this thing does is put fittings on tubing. It does a couple other things. You can get a cutting attachment for it, so you can use it to cut tubing. We didn't get that, but this thing works amazing. So you might ask yourself, well, why can't you just put the fitting on the tube yourself? But I think we all know it's difficult. You're not going to get it all the way down to the very end there. It's a very difficult thing to do here, especially when it's cold. So this thing is incredible. All you have to do, take it, open it up. When you're putting a spout on there, you want about like that much hanging off. We'll do this, put that just like that. It helps if things are a little warm. In our sugar shack today, things are pretty cold, and there you go. And that's all there is to it. If you've tried to work these things on just by hand, you know that it is an absolute nightmare. So look how easy that was. It's incredible. Putting some other taps on there, something like maybe this fitting here, it's equally as easy to put on there. So you want to open that up, have a little bit sticking out. Take this, just kind of line it up here. And you're done. You'd never get that on that far otherwise. If you did, you'd be cussing and trying to get it to go on there. So this thing is incredible. We highly recommend it. We didn't buy the cutting feature because, you know, we'll just use scissors or whatever. But this thing's incredible, and we highly recommend it. The next tool I'm going to talk about is the mainline punch. Now, this is for the 1-inch mainline. And I debated whether or not to spend money on this. I'm not going to lie. And this is by Pruno, and we bought this from CDL. Pruno makes the generally is the leader in these types of tools, and there's some wild looking tools out there. If you watch the Maple Dudes channel, he has a really good overview of some of the tools that are available, and some of them are pretty wild. But anyway, this thing was, I think, about $130 or $140, but we highly recommend this also if you use a main line. Now, our main line is only 500 feet, and we have a couple laterals going into it. Like I said, about 110 taps. And this thing has been amazing. I was just going to drill a hole in the main line to put the saddle on there. If y'all are familiar with saddles, I'm sure you are. But we were just going to drill and put the saddle down in there. But I was afraid, and I've heard horror stories about the drill bit going straight through, so I figured, you know what, we're going to go ahead and buy this. And it did not disappoint. This thing is great to use. So you have your main line, you attach it like this, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It just goes down in there. And what's great too is the plastic from the main line sort of gets wrapped around here. So when you release it, it pulls the plastic out with it. So anyway, this thing is super easy to use, and it makes it just really nice and easy to attach the saddles. And, you know, sometimes you just got to spend money on stuff to make your life easier. And this is something that I'm so glad we bought it, because imagine drilling a hole clear through your main line. That's going to make for a pain in the butt. So this is something we highly recommend also. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you are these tension hooks. These are for 5/16 tubing. And you can see where we got them from. These things are right around $13. And they allow you to do repairs on your tubing while keeping tension on the tubing and leaving your hands free. So you put these on the tubing, then you can cut it. You can make any kind of repair that you need to. It won't lose tension, and then using your line viper, you can reattach whatever fittings you need. So these things, when I first got them, they were kind of weird. Needed to kind of figure out how to use them. But they're great. The alternative are the Pruno two-handed tubing tool pliers for a 5/16 line. And these things, the Pruno equivalent to this is right around $299, I believe. So if you want an economical way to keep tension on tube while you're working on a fitting or whatever, we highly recommend these. They're not the most user-friendly things. I did have them pop off one time earlier in the season, and that kind of made a mess. But it was, but all in all, for $13, you can't beat this. And so I'm gonna go outside and show you how to use them real fast. All right, I'm gonna show you how to use these tension tools. So this thing's a little bit confusing, but really what you want to do is use this. So let's say you had to make a connection right here. Something happened. Maybe there was a hole from a squirrel or something like that, and you need to add a fitting here. So if you were to cut this right here, your whole line is done. It's taking the tension off of this, and this whole thing is going to be destroyed. So I'm going to use this. I always go with the side that says CDL on there. And I'm sure there's other ways to do this, but this is the way I do it. So let's say you wanted to make your connection right here. So take this, then slip that down there, grab a hold, and now all the tension is off of here. So you could cut this, add whatever you wanted to add in there, and then once you're done, take that off, and you're good to go. Another way people do it is to go like this with it. So you can see now that tension is off of there. If you were to cut this, these two ends are just gonna hang. So you could buy the $300 Pruno tool, or you can buy the $13 tensioner hooks. So this is why we use this. They work pretty well, and that's that. Okay, the next gadget I'm going to show you that we recommend using is this slide fitting. Now, you might ask yourself, what in the world is this thing? Why would I use it? This thing is great because it helps you to grab a hold of some tubing. So you put it on like this, and notice there's a hook down here. So that can hook to your tension, your high tensile wire. So you put this on. There's an arrow. Slide it on just like this. Use pliers to bring it on. And then look, that grabs tension, a hold of this. So now you can hook that to your mainline wire, and then you can wrap this around, and it can go into a saddle or whatever. So this thing is great. What normally you would have to do is you'd have to cut the line and put in on inline tension on there. Looks like this. So see what this helps you to do is, with this, you'd have to cut the line, put this in using your line viper, but now you've cut the line. With this, you don't have to cut the line. And in order to, it's fairly easy to undo this. But anyway, you just take your plier and undo it. And then bam, this comes apart and you're good to go. So these things I think are 30 cents a piece. But I'll tell you what, we really, really recommend them. And for just like ease of mind and not, just for ease of mind. See, look, it takes a little bit to get it off of there, but there you go. It comes apart, your line's not damaged, and it's amazing. So, I mean, we bought tons of these. And they have the fittings here, so at the end of the season, you can put that on there, and all that. So we highly recommend that also. So guys, here's the slide fitting and how this works. And you can see I don't have to cut this line in order to get this slide fitting on. And you can see it holds the tension real tight here on this lateral line. So this thing is perfect. We highly recommend them. I don't have to cut this in order to use that other fitting. This is easily adjustable. And when I'm done with it, I can take it off just using a pair of pliers. So these things are amazing. All right, the last thing that we want to talk about is this Smoky Lake. It's called the Murphy Cup. And this tells you, based upon the temperature, what the bricks need to be for it to be exactly 66.9 bricks. So if you're like us, you got a chart here, and you know that is the worst. It's literally the worst. So you pour your syrup in there. It tells you what bricks it needs to be for it to be maple syrup. And we bought one of these hydrometers. If you compare this hydrometer to the other one we have, which is a CDO one, this one is much easier to read. And so use this in conjunction. So all you have to do is match the bricks indicated here with the bricks on the hydrometer, and you have syrup. So this thing has been incredible. This thing was like $140, but it saved so much time. It saved aggravation. It was just really nice to use. So that's it. That's the video. We really hope that you guys got something out of this. There are so many maple tools out there and so many sort of gimmicks, and it's difficult sometimes to wade through it. So hopefully this helped you out, and hopefully you get something out of this. So leave some comments down below to let us know what you think. Are there any tools that you recommend for us to try? Let us know down there, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. We'll see you out on the ridge.